It's been a really long journey. When I was very, very young, my parents split up. I was about 7. And I started having a very unhealthy relationship with food when I was about 9. And it became something that turned into an eating disorder. That was something I struggled with. And when I got into my teenage years, it was pretty out of control. On the downside of an eating disorder, you're always kind of looking at body image. That's, and comparing that to yourself. But I ended up looking at it like, I want to be healthy. I want that. I don't want this anymore.
Welcome! I am so excited you're here. And today we're going to talk about something called health. Get your health on. You know, it's no secret that I really like food. Especially I like sugary food, like dark chocolate with lots of caramel and that little salt stuff on top. I also like French fries, and I am going to start a new business. It's called dipped French fries in hot dark chocolate, because I just think those two foods go together. But you know what? Just because I like all that, I'm not sure that I should be eating it 24/7. Also, I have a couch at home, and I have a treadmill. My struggle is the couch pulls me. It needs me. But last year, my husband and I, as we were getting older and entering our 30s, we thought we should be more healthy. So we went on a little health journey. And what I learned on this health journey is I eat to live. I don't live to eat. I kind of gotten that confused. And you know what I found out also? In ministry, so many times we're there for everyone else, but we don't take care of ourselves. I always want to be there for everyone else, but sometimes I don't stop and say, you know what, it's okay for you to go work out. It's okay for you to take time for yourself. And I think that is part of where serving and being there for others, we get that in our mind that we need to do everything for everyone else, and to take care of ourselves is selfish. And you know what? It's not. Because if I'm a better me, I'll be better for those around me. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I have a fabulous guest here today. And I just want to tell you a little bit about her, but I need to read it because I could not remember it because she is amazing. But number one, she's a personal trainer, something I dream of being. She's a volunteer health coach at the University of Washington Valley Medical. She's a retired, now this is the big one for me, a retired competitive bodybuilder. Maybe she'll take off her shirt and show us her muscles later. She's a marathon runner. She loves cycling, and she is just like amazing. And she's here today to talk to us about health. Yay! Welcome. Welcome, Colette. We are so glad you're here, Colette Jepper, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you, ministry leaders, they need to be healthy spiritually. We like our spiritual leaders to have spiritual, health.
Yeah.
They also need to, be emotionally somewhat stable, but also physical. Mm-hmm. They need all those.
Yes.
What do you say? Because you're about the physical. I mean, that's probably up there a little bit on your...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Tell us, why do they need to also watch their health and take care of their health?
Well, it all is just combined into one thing. Your spirituality, your physical self, how you think, it's all connected. God built us all to be intertwined with our, spirit. And physical health is part of that, but also everything that you ingest goes into every single cell of your body, and it
So I just have a
feeds
question.
it.
That dark chocolate with the French fries?
Depends on the dark chocolate. 'Cause
Okay.
There's antioxidants in that really help your immune system.
I love
so
you. You're
need
my
that.
best friend. Thank you.
So it's not such a bad thing. So I think that in our minds we kind of label, this is all bad and this is all good, and there's no bridges that come in between. And that is not necessarily, the facts, because there's certain ways that you can make French fries. You can bake them instead of fry them, and then there's that bridge. So you
And they still taste good?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take her word on it, right?
Yes, they do. But it all comes together to make you a whole person. And through medicine, they've done a really great job of creating specialties, which we really need. But they've also separated body functions. And we are a whole person, you know, in all of our body functions and in our spirit and in our physical life. And you can't separate that. When you start separating it, it becomes, you become sick. You become not feeling well. You become, you know, sometimes depressed or anxious or tired, and because you're separating yourself, and you need to think of it as a whole.
So like a ministry leader that's really, I mean, they're with God, they're praying every day, they're emotionally healthy, but they're not taking care of that physical part, maybe gaining weight each year, not exercising, take care. You know, how is that going to affect their spiritual and emotional to you?
Well, it really does. There's this mind and body connection that happens when you get up and take a walk or do something different that is a physical connection. And it lifts your spirit. It gives you a clearer mind. It clears your, you know, anything that you might be feeling like down about or have questions about. It just kind of opens up your mind. So there is definitely, you know, just that connection, but you have to cross that bridge.
Right,
you know,
because
you have to get off the couch and just
you're
go
saying
take a walk.
this to me, but I'm like, you know, laying on the couch really seems like a great lift me up for me sometimes. So
Yes.
how do I get over that to where I'm like laying on the couch,
Right.
watching TV, feeling really good? What makes me get up and get to that treadmill?
So there are some things that you can do, and part of it is just knowing who you are as a person. Because I believe that everybody's kind of has different time clocks. You know, some people are morning people, some people are, you know, get more energy in the afternoon, and depending on what you're doing through the day is going to give you maybe these kind of spaces of time where that you could fill and that you have more energy. So personally, how I, you know, like started my journey a long time ago is I wanted to get more physical and more healthful. But I had 2 little boys, and how was I going to fit that in?
Well, isn't that physical right there?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
To a certain degree. To
Yeah.
a certain degree. But I felt like, where in my day can I just give myself a half an hour just for me? Just do what I want to do and something that I like to do. And no matter what that looked like. And I found that it was in the morning. So I would get up just a little bit earlier and use that time to give to myself. And after a while, it was just this very sacred time that I got to have just for me. And in that time, while I was being physical, I also would pray and think about how I was going to be treating myself, and it was just a kind of a breakthrough. And so I think that to get to that spot from the couch to moving is you kind of just look at your day and figure out what kind of person you are, and just even if it's just 15 minutes, to break through that cycle, and then you start to fall in love with a new habit and a new cycle, and it really changes
They
your
do
life.
say, I mean, I keep hearing this, that if we exercise enough, it becomes a habit.
It does.
So I'm just trying to figure out how long that takes. And I think you said something. You said you had 2 small boys, but you needed to, because I think for me, when I had small children, I felt like, well, I am exercising, just running after them.
Yeah.
But I'm not really taking time for me.
Yes. And
I'm taking time for them. So I may be getting lots of my steps in for the day,
Very good.
but I'm not really taking care of me.
Exactly.
So have you always been like health crazy like? And I shouldn't say crazy. That crazy says is kind of negative. Health aware, which is a positive. Or what brought you down the road to be a competitive bodybuilder? I mean, that's like going to the edge.
Well, for me, it's been a really long journey. When I was very, very young, my parents split up. I was about 7. And I started having a very unhealthy relationship with food when I was about 9. And it became something that turned into an eating disorder. And that was something I struggled with. And when I got into my teenage years, it was pretty out of control. And I really believe that was God's hand in my life, because I just met a couple people in that time in my life who were exercise people. They were looked really healthy, and on the downside of an eating disorder, you're always kind of looking at body image. That's and comparing that to yourself. But I ended up looking at it like, I want to be healthy. I want that. I don't want this anymore. And so I kind of just started researching, following their example, and things just started opening up to me. And I started leaning more towards healthy food in more of a natural way, and I started gravitating more towards fruit and vegetables and things like that at a pretty young age, because I just never really liked meat. It just was something I wasn't like super happy about, and when I had to eat it when I was a kid and be the last one at the table trying to eat this, you know. But through the pain of all of that, it birthed this healthy lifestyle that it just kind of started rolling on top of each other. So then I started running, and I really enjoyed that. Then I started biking, and I started competing in marathons and the Seattle to Portland bike race and things like that, because it was just something like I never did it before, so I wanted to explore it.
So here you are, and you're like, Miss Physical, physical. I mean, let's go. Yeah, you are. I mean, I'm just looking at it going, oh my word, I'm just trying to get on the treadmill. But so I'm just giving you 100% and more on the physical. But how has this helped you emotionally and spiritually? Because we always talk about, you know, they all three go together.
Yeah.
So, because I've met really physical, great people, but they're emotional wrecks and are far from God. So how for you did the physical also breathe into the emotional and spiritual part of your life?
Again, I go back to that physical, the spiritual mind and body connection, because when I would be exercising, I would be praying, and I would be I wasn't thinking about what I was doing, I was just enjoying being able to move. Thanking God that I could, it was just kind of like this natural response that I had. And I just feel like there is this kind of opening up of your mind that happens when you're actually in the process and in the middle of being physical.
Because you know what, I think that's true. I just thought of something. How many of you have fallen asleep while you're praying? Maybe if we were like on a treadmill or walking or doing some exercise, we would be better off because we would stay awake while we're praying. I mean, I'm just saying, all of a sudden this little light came on. Oh, you know.
Yes.
But if you don't make it all about just the exercising or all about the image.
Yes.
Because self-image is huge. I mean, I just am so sad sometimes when I watch young girls. It's all about how you look. It's not the looks as much as it is the health. Because you can be a really unhealthy skinny.
Yes, you can.
So it's the image. We want to be in the image of God.
Right.
And we want to reflect everything that He has.
Exactly.
This is He gave us this body. I want to take care of it, but I want to take care of all three parts, the spiritual and the emotional and the physical.
Exactly.
But I think we do. In ministry, we kind of leave out the physical because it's hard to take that time for self. Did you ever feel selfish when you had two little kids taking that time for yourself?
I didn't, because of how I set it up. Because I was like, this is mine. This is my portion of the day that I'm taking to take care of myself.
Were you a better mom, did you feel?
Yeah, because I felt like no matter what happens during this day, I've done this. This was my time, and you know, and the rest of the day I can give to my family, and I'm not feeling like you know, I got ripped off or something, you know, and I put myself in the corner.
It sounds like, though, your physical time of exercise was your connection to God. Colette, I just want to ask you if you could say one thing to the ministry leaders that are listening today and to our audience. What if they're saying, okay, I do want to start this physical, I want to be better. What's the one thing you tell them to get started with?
That's a really good question.
You already said you don't have to give up your dark chocolate, so you're okay there.
Yes, you're good.
But what's one step they could take towards better health?
I would, you know, first of all, it has to be a slow progression. You know, you can't just do it all at once, because then you're setting yourself up for failure, or, you know, because it's a lifestyle. Yeah. It's not just, I'm going to do it for such and such a week, you know. That is always a good motivator and get you kind of on the road, but it's what can I do in my lifestyle that can move me into a healthier place, you know, whether it's the walk, the 15 minutes, the half an hour that you're going to give yourself, and what are you going to do in that time, you know, also if you feel like you need to take some kinds of different foods out of your diet, don't just take them out, but take them out and replace them with something that's really healthy, a healthy version of that. And
so that you don't feel like you're being deprived.
exactly, because we don't do well with that.
No,
you know,
we're
we
not
can't
good at
just take
depriving.
something out and then there's this void that's left, because food is very emotional. We're very attached to it. It's more than just nutrients. And
I know. I know all about that. You don't have to tell me. I know.
But
I live
yes.
to eat. I don't eat to live. I'm trying to remember this. Yes.
you know, and I have this huge passion that, you know, God built food. He
Right,
put it on
right.
this earth, and to seek out the food that He built and eat it to its most natural, you know, way, without denaturing it. And if you do that, it does something in your body, and it just turns you on. It is amazing what it can do with your energy levels, and take care of depression, and make you want to get off the couch and take a walk.
Get on my
and-
treadmill,
Yeah, and all this stuff. So I really believe that the basic of nutrition is the best way to go, really, for changes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My nutritionist has asked me to include seeds and nuts in my diet, and one of them is chia seeds. What is the importance of the properties of chia seeds?
Chia seed is amazing because it goes into your digestive system and helps really clean out all the bad stuff, and also feeds the natural bacteria that's in your gut. The best way to eat it, though, is to not
Dark chocolate.
put it in dark chocolate.
I do. I
because
do
they have
those.
they have
They
it. Yes,
it in dark chocolate.
she's
Score for
funny.
Debbie.
That's so
I
funny.
did something good. Yes.
If you're going to just buy a package of it, you want to put it in a little bit of water and let it turn into kind of like a gel, which just happens in like 20 minutes, or you can put it in your fridge and have it the next day. And use it like jam, or put it in a smoothie, because you want to. It's a seed, so you want to sprout it, and that way it's got all the energies ready to get into your system. Yeah.
So even do that before I make my smoothie and put it in my smoothie?
Yep. Yeah. You just put it in the fridge, and it'll sprout, and then just kind of dump it in there when it's done. Yeah.
So it can be really expensive to like shop organic all the time. So what would you say would be priority for like buying healthy food to invest your money wisely in that?
That's a really good
That
question.
is a great
Super good
question.
question. So first of all, going back to all the information that's out there, it's not as expensive as you think. There's a lot of bad information that says that it is expensive to eat healthfully, when there has been a lot of studies that have balanced two different grocery bags, and one completely healthy and one that's not, and it's the same. So the other thing is that you can look up the best foods to buy organically that's going to be better for your health, and the type of foods that you can get by with not buying organic, and that you can do it that way too. The larger markets are going to have more of your processed foods and put more of those foods on sale, and so you're thinking you're getting better, food, and sometimes they push the processed food and the like the prepackaged meal type foods as being healthy, and they're really not. So kind of a rule of thumb is to just kind of do your homework and look at the ads and go around to maybe smaller markets, farmers markets, things like that. We're in the season right now. We're really good farmers markets.
Yeah.
And
I
to
will
support
say,
them.
someone told me this once, which I thought was interesting. If you go on the outside of your supermarket and only
And
buy
that's-
from it,
yep.
because you've got your fruit, you've got your dairy, but when you go in the middle, it's all your packaged stuff.
Yes,
and
and that
frozen
is
stuff.
true on the real.
I know. I kind of live in the
always
middle.
laid up that way.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get
to the sides,
side
Debbie.
of the supermarket.
You mentioned that we can start with 15-minute exercise. So can you please tell us how is it look like 15-minute exercise?
Like
Okay.
kind of what kind of exercise we do in 15
In
minutes.
15
yeah,
minutes.
because just standing up for me might take a little bit. And then where do we go from there?
Exactly. So there's actually so much that you can do in 15 minutes, but if you want to incorporate like getting your heart rate up as well, you can do a really small type of circuit kind of
What's a
I guess
circuit?
a circuit kind of training. Circuit training is several exercises, one right after the other. Jumping jacks, sit-ups, push-ups. So you're using functional movement, and you're also strengthening your muscles. You're also strengthening your core. And if you do, just pick 3 or 4 exercises that you don't need any equipment with, and do them right in a row, and don't stop. 15 minutes, boom, and you've done yourself a
And
good
it gets your
job.
heart rate up
Yeah.
too, which is
It's
great for you.
that's what you want to start with, because you want to get your cardiorespiratory system starting to get it conditioned, because the more that's conditioned, it elevates your immune systems and gets all that toxins start coming out of your body and gets your brain lit up. It's really important.
And it helps you really start to want exercising.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
thing. I guess I haven't just gotten there far enough
just-
to
and
get it to where I
consistency,
want to do
that's-
it. And consistency. Awesome.
That is the biggest key.
So, Colette, do you
Yeah.
have something you'd like to just say to all the ministry leaders here and out there that are listening to you today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in the music ministry. Been in worship for
Oh,
years
and
years.
she does music. This is the full package.
But the biggest thing is that, there's this spiritual connection that you're having when you're doing your ministry, no matter what it is, music, children's, speaking, whatever it is. Having a clear mind is, you just can't say enough about it. So when you're exercising, putting that into your life, you're eating clean, and you're not putting all those chemicals and packaged food and processed food into your body, then your mind becomes clearer. It's a very spiritual experience, and it's I believe just a really huge cornerstone in ministry and moving your ministry forward.
Because when you're clearer, you're able to hear more
You
from
are,
God.
yeah.
And you're able to move forward and minister to others in a more
Yes,
positive way.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, let's thank Colette again for coming. Well, I'm very excited to know that I'm healthy because I'm eating chai seeds covered in dark chocolate. So today was a win for me, and I also am going to get off my couch and get on that treadmill. But recently I was in a restroom of a restaurant, and I read a funny little quote. It says, the definition of a calorie. The definition of a calorie are tiny little creatures that live in your closet, and each night they sew your clothes just a little bit tighter. Really? I thought that was a lot funnier. But anyways, all that to say is, we laugh about it, and we laugh about eating right, and sometimes we even laugh about exercising. I know I have when I see someone running like, oh, they're good, woohoo, you go. And you know what? But personally, deep down, I think all of us, we want to do better. We want to eat better. We want to exercise better. We do want to be better because I know that God has given me this body. I want to take care of it, and I want to be better because I know in ministry and as ministry leaders, if I'm better, I'm going to be better for those out there. So I just want to encourage you in that. And I have a scripture verse for you. I found this scripture and I love it because it brings the spiritual and the physical together. And it's found in 3 John 1:2. And it says this, Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul. If you're in good health, it goes well with your soul. They go together. So I just want to thank you for being here today. And I have a little something for my audience. It's a special something because, I just want you not to go off the cliff on this whole health thing. But I want to start you out on your health walk. I have Cliff Bars, protein bars for each and every one of you. There you go. Enjoy. Woo! Hey, oh, yeah, I got more. Thank you. Enjoy. Eat. Woo! There you go.
C4, M5, take 1. And then now,
Hi, this is Debbie, and if you so much enjoyed this episode, like you are just out of control right now, then you need to call all your friends right now, text them, and say, oh, you my word, you need to get on Off Script with Debbie, and then you need to like it, and then you need to subscribe, because you know what? You don't want to miss an episode. Thanks.